Hello, today we are going to be talking about subplots and main plots and how not to let the subplot eat your main plot. Sometimes this is also called the subplot dragon, so that's part of the reason I have this nice little dragon eating the tail of a very calm dragon, because that's your main plot going along just fine, and this is the subplot deciding to take over and eat it. Now the main problem with the subplot eating the main plot is the fact that the subplot is meant to be just that, the subplot. So if it comes up and becomes the main plot and the main plot gets forgotten, the reader's going to be pretty dang upset. Why? Because we don't want you to forget the main plot. We want the main plot to be what we were promised and stay what we were promised as a reader. As a result, we want the subplot to remain in the subcategory and not come and consume the universe and come crashing down around us, bring the plot crashing down around us. Alright, so that being said, the main way to avoid the subplot dragon eating your main plot is to identify what your main plot and subplot are. So for example, if you're writing a science fiction story, and in the science fiction story there is, I don't know, I'm going to make this up as we go along, so it might be a little rough. Let's say there is a robot, and the robot wants to be free. However, robot subplot also is falling for a human. Now what we want to have happen is we want to have this continue on down here in the background, but we want the robot to be like, the robot wants to be free, so the robot runs away, and then the robot discovers secret society, and then robot claims freedom. What we don't want to have happen is the robot runs away, the robot discovers secret society, robot finds human who loves them, and forgets about freedom. Who needs freedom? That's a problem. That's when you're like, okay, this is not what we were looking for. We were promised robot gaining their rights and freedom. We were not promised robot trying to gain their rights and freedom and then ultimately giving up because they're in love, so who cares? That's a big problem. Or, like, for example, let's say it's a zombie apocalypse thing, and you have zombie apocalypse as main plot, and as subplot they are trying to find their family. Now what you don't want to have happen is zombies are a crucial part of the plot all the way through, and then all of a sudden they find their family and you treat it like zombies don't even exist anymore. It was all just an illusion. It was a dream. This is also a problem. You don't want to have that subplot come and eat the main plot. Now, the best way to avoid that, like I said, is to make sure you know what you're doing. So, as a result, as you saw earlier, you're generally going to have at least 5 different boxes you're filling out, and I made them way too big, so I'm going to make another one up here. Oh, that's not even on the screen. I'll make it here instead and erase this one. So, you're generally going to want to have at least a main 5 plot points. You're going to want to have the beginning, then you're going to want to have midpoint, and what gets them to the midpoints, fuel, and then you're going to have more fuel, and then you're going to have resolution. And of course you're going to have the climax somewhere in here. But these are the most important things. Now this helps you identify whether the subplot ate the main plot, because generally the subplot doesn't eat the main plot until about this 2nd to 3rd square. Sometimes it eats it in the middle, but generally it's these last 2 squares that suffer, because ultimately you get bored of the main plot and decide to abandon it. So first of all, pick a main plot that's not going to bore you, That's gonna help you want to stay with the main plot. But then, even the subplot's important, and it's gonna have 5 boxes too. But at the same time, you don't want it to be 5 boxes that then jump up here and become the main boxes, and you just blow these out of the water. These are all important and interlinked. They can be interlinked. And it's perfectly acceptable to have them be interwoven and connected, and ups and downs relate to each other, and all sorts of different things. But what am I doing? But the most important thing that you're going to notice is when this fuel to get to the next plot point becomes this. You don't want this subplot to be what's fueling you for this. It should have its own fuel that is related to the actual main plot that's going on. That being said, you want to make sure that you don't ignore and neglect the subplot, because that still is a promise to your reader. So for example, if you're promising romance, you don't want to say, and they never found love, and who cares? That's a problem. But you also don't want to say, and they found love, and so the main plot doesn't matter anymore. Also a problem. The best way to identify it would be making sure that it follows this logic of beginning, fuel, mid, fuel, resolution, and same thing with the subplot. And you make sure that they all have the same theme. So like you were seeing earlier, robot and freedom in all the top ones, and robot and love, all the bottom ones. You want to make sure that they're not accidentally crisscrossing. It's okay if they're related to each other, like if this and that come together at some point, that's fine. But if you completely and utterly neglect to even talk about the other plot, that's when it becomes a problem. So for example, if the main character wants revenge, right? Okay, let's go Inigo Montoya, right? So Inigo Montoya, if the movie / the book was about Inigo Montoya, then here's what the main plot would look like. The main plot would be, guy wants revenge against six-fingered man who killed his father. He gets the fuel to get revenge when he starts practicing as a swordsman. Midpoint, he gets hired by this guy who tries to kidnap this princess and kind of gets distracted along the way. However, it helps provide even more fuel because he figures out who the six-fingered man is so he can kill him. Resolution, he kills the six-fingered man, right? Whereas the subplot would be the plot of The Princess Bride, actually, because Inigo Montoya is a crucial part of it, but it never disrupts his main plot. He never lets this get overtaken. Like, he could have said just, oh, well, they're so cute and in love, and love should conquer all, not revenge, so I'm not going to bother killing him off. And we would have all been very depressed. We would have all been like, excuse me, what? So it's important to make sure that your character follows their main plot, follows what makes sense from the beginning. And if they have a subplot where they help a cute couple get to safety and are forever in love, that's great. But don't let it consume the plot. For example, if it was the reverse, and you're saying Princess Bride here is the whole main plot, and then all of a sudden the subplot dragon comes up and just goes, nope, Inigo Montoya is now the main character. Wesley actually does die, and he ends up killing off the six-fingered man, and we don't know what happens to Buttercup. None of us would have been happy. We all would have hated that movie. But so it's important that you address the main plot as well as your subplot, and make sure that both get equal time, but that the subplot dragon does not eat the main plot or get neglected and forgotten. Alright, if you have any questions about that, please comment them below. I'm going to now talk a little bit about, because we have some extra time, the things that are going on this month. So, this month, on the 27th, we have Adult Writers Club. Yay! From 8 to 9 p.m. Please do not forget it. I would love to see you guys. I would love to meet you guys. I would love to edit your stuff. Even if you can't come in person, please comment down below that you can't come in person but would love to have Writers Club resources. In that case, I will give you my email, and you can email me your manuscript and I can take a look at it. I would love to do that. The other thing is that on the 20th, so that is in 10 days, wow, this is crazy. In 10 days, we are going to have the final deadline for our short story contest. Now, for the short story contest, It is very simple. Adults and teens can enter, and I would encourage you all to try and enter. It's basically just about, the prompt is about having a group of people who have to work together in order to accomplish a goal. It's that simple. You can have it be a heist, you can have it be Scooby-Doo type thing, whatever you want, as long as they are working together to accomplish that goal. That being said, the winners will be announced on the 29th. However, that is also the same day that we will be having our all-day writers conference from 10:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. We will be having authors such as Kayla Rivera and USA Times bestselling Ali Cross, and we will also have Ann Sutton and Natalie Brienne, and I know there's, Arlem Hawks, there we go, I think I got them all. And they're all going to come and teach wonderful writing lessons from 10:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. No, we will not be providing lunch, but we will be taking a lunch break, in which if you want to bring your own lunch, you can eat your lunch here. I would love to see you guys there. I'm super looking forward to it. Make sure that if you're going to turn in a short story, that you turn it in before 8:45 p.m. We have to close the library at 9, so the cutoff is 8:45 p.m. Hard. Can't do 8:46, can't do 8:47, it's 8:45. That's it. So you have 10 days and however many hours on the 20th to finish your short story, and I would love to have those get turned in. I would love to see what you guys have. I'm super excited for it. Thanks. Bye.